Hello everyone, thank you so much for birthday messages, comments, emails. I'm already getting quite a few in, so I just thought I would say thank you for those. Yes, it is my birthday today, 20th of April, and I am 58 years old. I am coming on because I wanted to talk about my birthday celebration yesterday and give you an example of how astrology works, because I thought this was a really interesting kind of teaching experience. How astrology can work in very small ways, but significant ways. And it kind of starts with a journey. So to set the background, my best friend, who is kind of like my brother, he is a Gemini. We've known each other for like 30 odd years. We spend every Christmas together, every birthday together, etc. So he said, do you want to go out for your birthday? Of course, yes is the answer to that, yes. So he very kindly offered to take me out somewhere, and he decided where to go, because I can never decide where to go. Because in my natal chart I have Saturn in my 9th house. I have a very packed 9th house, most of it in Aries, my sun in Taurus. I use equal house. So I have a very packed 9th house, which is all to do with long distance travel, belief systems. It's in old astrology, it's the house of God. It's the house that's associated with higher learning, with publishing, with writing, with symbolic language. Gemini, or the 3rd house, is connected to sort of linear language and writing and sort of basic sort of information. So the triple conjunction that's happening right now in the skies, Mercury-Mars-Saturn, is happening in my 9th house. So my friend said to me, where would you like to go? And I was like, I don't know, because Saturn always kind of puts a block in my mind about where to go. And so he came up with this lovely idea of a place that I haven't been to, or haven't been to for a very, very long time. A little village, which is far enough away that if I was going on my own, I would need to catch a train. So that's more of a 9th house kind of matter. So I'm setting this scene here. So we've got a journey coming up. And at 10 to midday yesterday, my friend called me. He was coming to collect me at midday. My friend called me and said, I can't get to you. Oh my God, I can't get to you. I was like, what's happening? What's going on? I thought his car had broken down. He was like, no, the Manchester Marathon is on and they've closed all the roads. And I suddenly thought, oh my God, because where I live, the marathon is like 2 roads away. And last time this was on, our entire area was just completely shut down. You couldn't get in, you couldn't get out. So I asked him where he was, and he was about kind of 5-7 minutes walk away from where I am. And I said, right, just stay there. I'll come to you. And he was like, you won't be able to get across the road. And I was like, I'll come to you. Just stay there. I thought, I'm not going to miss my birthday celebrations. So I went out and I got to the road, had no comprehension that there was just going to be thousands of people lining the streets, and of course a runner after runner after runner after runner going past me, and realizing in that moment, thinking, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to get across. I speak to one of the sort of marshals, one of the volunteers, and I said to her, I really need to get across the road. And she was like, it's fine, you can cross the road. And there's me with my stick, getting old, Saturn, with my stick. I walked slowly and I looked at the road and I thought, there's no way I'm going to be able to get across because of runners. And I didn't want to get in anyone's way, obviously. And as if by a miracle, a huge gap opened up suddenly between these very fast runners and then the next lot of very fast runners, and the marshal said, quick. So there's me with my slow stick getting across the road, and I got across as quickly as I possibly could, didn't get in anyone's way, and got to my friend, and we started to make our way towards this lovely little village. So here is the first teaching from the day. So of course, Mercury is about connections, including roads. Mars is, I want to go somewhere far away in the 9th house of my chart. And Saturn is like the block. Saturn is also a reminder with Mars that this is a marathon, not a sprint. And the message for me was, you don't have to be in the competition. You don't have to be in the race to get to where you need to be. That is the teaching. You can go at your own pace. You can go your own way. You can do what you want to do, but you are going to maybe sometimes have to take a detour. You're sometimes going to have to wait. And you need to recognize that there is no need to compare your journey to someone else. You don't need to be in the race. That was the first message. So I then get to my friend, and he was a little bit worried about being late because he'd booked a table for us at a restaurant, and we kind of realized we should be okay. And in the car, we were chatting about all different kinds of things, and we started talking about the cherry trees, because the cherry trees are just looking absolutely stunning right now, just beautiful. So we were talking about cherry trees and wondering whether there was fruit on these types of trees or not, and sort of, asking a lot of questions about cherry trees. And then we got to the place we were going, and the restaurant that he'd booked was called Lost and Found. And I thought, straight away, I thought, well, that's interesting, because that's kind of, I've been feeling a little bit lost, and here we are at a place that's lost and found. Maybe it's, how you look at it. If you're feeling lost, you're almost already found. And my mind was playing with this imagery. So we get our food and we're chatting, and we ended up talking about books that we read as children and just kind of being readers as children. And he was talking about the magic faraway tree, and I was thinking, I'm sure I read that, and I was just sort of saying, I think I read that. What was it about again? I asked him to tell me what it was about. And then I said, oh no, I'm thinking about the Children of Cherry Tree Farm. This was a book that I read obsessively as a child, and it was because I desperately wanted to live in the countryside, because it's a story of children whose parents eventually moved to the countryside, and it's just all wonderful. And it's kind of been a lifelong dream of mine to move from the city to the countryside, and it's never left me. So the book is still kind of living rent-free in my head. And so we were talking about this. So I thought to myself, I had already noticed the sort of synchronicity of, cherry trees, talking about cherry trees in the car, and then suddenly we're talking about, the Children of Cherry Tree Farm. So anyway, we have our food. It was really lovely, and we then left and had a wander around all of the shops, and eventually came home. And on the way home, there was another diversion. And this time, I sort of didn't really notice. I sort of realized afterwards we were going in a different way. And my friend said, oh God, I don't know where on earth we are. He does have sat nav, but he turned it off at that particular point. So I don't know where we are. And he said, oh, this is fun. Let's just drive and see where we go. And we went past this absolutely beautiful little white cottage. And instantly my heart was just, I would love to live here. And we turned the corner, and this incredible view opened up, and there was a lake, and it was just glittering. It was just stunning. And I said to my friend, stop. I've got to stop here. I just need to get out and breathe in this silence and this quietness and this beauty. And I just need to be here for a minute. He was like, yeah, of course, because he wanted to take some photos as well. So we stopped, and I sort of just breathed it in and took a little video, and he took a photo of me, which I'll put up here. And then I went to get back in the car, and I realized that the little driveway that we were stopped in was a place called Cherry Tree Farm. And I had goosebumps. I still got goosebumps now. I had goosebumps, and I just said, look, that is so weird that we got completely diverted. This was not the way that we were meant to come, and yet somehow we've got here. I've been brought back to Cherry Tree Farm. And so, by the way, symbolically, cherry trees are associated with kind of living in the moment. So that was a little lesson for me to be more in the moment, because I've been a bit stressed out and worried about the passing of time, Saturn, Saturn return and all that, and getting older. Being more present, enjoying, where you are, but it's also a sign of new beginnings and fertility, and that there is so much abundance in the world. So it's a really good sign, sort of symbolically. But it was also very much this feeling of being brought back to myself, being brought back to my original story, the story that I read as a child, and that somehow I knew. I believe, often we know as children that there is this path, even if we can't articulate it, and that somehow I would find my way, even if I got lost. Remember the place called Lost and Found, the restaurant called Lost and Found. Even if I got lost, I would find my way back. So this to me is just a beautiful expression of how the astrological energies can work. It doesn't matter that the journey is slow. Saturn conjunct Mars and also Mercury, sort of for all of us, this is a life journey. We're all trying to find our connections, and it is sometimes about how we think about things. Whether you think you are lost, whether you think you are found, that is where you are. But there is certainly something to be said about trusting the process. I definitely had that message yesterday, to trust the process, to trust that I will make my way to the place that is intended. And of course, as soon as I got home yesterday, I did hunt down those books on a I can't remember the name of it. It was a World of Books or whatever it is. Anyway, secondhand book shop, and those books are now winging their ways to me so I can read them again. Anyway, I hope you like my little story about how astrology can manifest how life is always in communication with us. And thank you again for birthday wishes. This is 58 for me. Bye.